Since the dawn of time, man's been addicted to three things: food, money, and writing the dumbest fables about how bad wolves are. So much so they've inspired your childhood classic: 3 pigs, 1 wolf, a little girl, 1 wolf, 7 baby goats, 1 wolf. For some reason, children's stories always comes with a side of wolf trauma. But since the dawn of the internet, this archetype has made a comeback, stealing hearts on your main screen and inspiring very questionable content on AO3 and DeviantArt. I mean, have you seen the stuff people come up with? The archetype I speak of, if you haven't caught it by now, is the wolf archetype. Now firstly, this wasn't the video I planned to do originally. I had a video planned that was way different, but for some reason the Fox video got like 11,000 views, which is insane. So yeah. Also, before we start, I want to give a shout out to David Martinez, a huge supporter of the channel. Thank you for always supporting the channel, David, and God bless you. Okay, let's get into it. Now, wolves aren't like foxes or other animal archetypes where their personality gives them flavor in a story. No. With wolves, it's way simpler. In most of the classic 2D days, wolves were put in stories for one reason and one reason only. They were villains. They carried a ready-made stereotype of being bad, the big scary predator. You didn't even need character development. You just dropped a wolf and boom, instant bad guy. And this wasn't something that just happened out of nowhere. I use the word stereotype for a reason, because wolves didn't just randomly become villains. There are references all throughout history and folklore that shaped how we saw them and made wolves the perfect stand-in for danger, fear, or just straight up evil. Now let's take medieval Europe, for example. Farmers hated wolves because they went after livestock. So naturally they were like, yup, that's the devil's animal right there. Instant evil branding. And let's not forget that the Bible in Matthew 7:15 says, where Jesus warns, beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. This was meant to be a metaphor Christ was depicting, but in medieval Europe, this wasn't the best PR for wolves. Now, in Norse mythology, we also have Fenrir, a literal apocalypse wolf who's prophesied to eat Odin. So yeah, not exactly the cuddly kind of PR. And fairy tales came in and absolutely sealed the deal for wolves. The Brother Grimm stories basically turned wolves into the jump scare of children's literature, eating grannies, goats, pigs. So when animation came along, wolves didn't stand a chance. They were already the cultural shorthand for bad guys, so studios actually leaned hard into it.
Okay, please, sorry for distracting you. If you are enjoying the content and you are liking what you see and what you hear, please do give this video a like and consider hitting the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. Let's get back into it.
In 1993, Disney released 3 Little Pigs, starring the big bad wolf, also known as Zeke Wolf. He wasn't just mean, he was manipulative, sneaky, violent, and literally tried to eat the pigs alive. Disney doubled down, bringing him back in sequels and even putting him against Little Red Riding Hood later on. Around the same time, Disney's Silly Symphony shorts kept him around as a conniving, mustache-twirling villain. By the 1940s, Tex Avery's wolves from Red Hot Riding Hood and the follow-up shorts gave the stereotype a new twist. Cocky, arrogant, a smooth talker who always thought he was in control until he wasn't. Warner Brothers chimed in too with their own wolf characters, like the recurring Big Bad Wolf parodies in Looney Tunes, usually cast as either a predator chasing prey or a schemer getting outsmarted by Bugs Bunny or other heroes. So wolves got locked into this double stereotype, either the dangerous beast waiting to eat you or the smug villain you love to see fail. But here's the thing, part of the reason the wolf stereotype stuck for so long is because wolves in real life already carry this natural duality. They are not just scary predators, they are also the most social, family-driven animals on Earth. Wolves live in packs, they hunt in teams, they raise pups together. Their survival literally depends on loyalty and cooperation. But at the same time, they're apex predators, fast, intelligent, strategic. They can take down prey way bigger than themselves with precision. So you get this built-in contradiction, nurturing and protective, yet dangerous and lethal. That makes them metaphors for humanity's own contradictions, our capacity for love and loyalty, but also for violence and destruction. And that's why when animators and writers started re-examining wolves, it wasn't hard for them to flip the script, because in real life, wolves were never just villains. They were complex, and that complexity was just waiting for a glow up. So somewhere along the way, the wolf got a rebrand, like full PR team, image makeover the works. Let's take Balto in the 90s. Suddenly, wolf-dog hybrid wasn't a menace, he was a hero. Kids were crying over his struggle for acceptance, not exactly big bad energy anymore. Then we had Studio Ghibli, which came along with Princess Mononoke in 1997, and this is where things got really interesting for the wolf archetype. Ghibli didn't just make wolves sympathetic, they made them deity-like, massive, regal, terrifying, and wise. Moro, the wolf goddess, isn't a side character or a villain to slay, she's a force of nature with her own perspective. For a whole generation, wolves stopped being fairy tale threats and started being sacred, complex beings. Let's fast forward to Wolfwalkers in 2020, where wolves aren't monsters, they're literally magical, misunderstood, and cooler than the human characters. And of course, the crown jewel of this glow up is Mr. Wolf from the Badguys. Smooth, charming, criminal mastermind turned heartthrob. This guy went from lock up your pigs to lock up your daughters real quick. Animation went from wolves being the nightmare fuel of children's stories to making them ones you simp for. Talk about character development. Now don't get me wrong, the wolf glow up didn't mean that they all started handing out friendship bracelets. Wolves are still villains, but here's the twist, they're not the flat one-note big bad wolf anymore. They are layered, complex, charismatic, and in some cases they are so good at being bad that we can't help but love them anyways. Death from Puss in Boots 2, The Last Wish. You know, this guy isn't just a villain, he's a whole cinematic event. The design, chilling, the whistle, instant goosebumps, the way he moves is smooth, it's calculated, like he's always 2 steps ahead. The kicker is, he's not evil for the sake of it. He's a force of nature, you know, the inevitability Puss can't charm or fight his way out of. That makes him terrifying, but also kind of irresistible. He's everything we secretly love about wolves, powerful, untamed, magnetic, and it's why people walked out of the theater saying, yeah, Puss was great, but Death stole the whole movie. And then there's Rahzar from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of the slickest wolf villains in recent memories. Unlike the goofy brutes that we had in the 90s, this Rahzar was sharp, cunning, and vicious. He's not just a monster, he's a hunter, a strategist, and a real threat to the turtles. Something I really love is his character design. It leans into everything that makes wolves terrifying, the elongated limbs, the piercing eyes, the speed, and it gave fans a villain that was both nightmare fuel and insanely cool. You don't just fear Rahzar, you respect him. And that's the magic of the modern wolf archetype. Even when they are villains, they are not throwaways, they are scene stealers. At some point, screenwriters clearly had a wait a minute moment. Like, what if we don't just make wolves good or bad? What if we actually play into the stereotype and actually flip it? What if wolves wrestle with being, well, wolves? Enter Legoshi from Beastars. On the surface, he's the ultimate predator, tall, sharp fanged, scary silhouette, but inside he's an anxious introvert constantly fighting his carnivorous instinct and trying to prove he's more than his species. His whole arc is about the inner battle that he has. Is he a monster or can he choose to be better? That tension is what makes him one of the most relatable wolf characters, in my opinion, that's ever been written. Then there's Mr. Wolf from the Badguys. His entire story is literally about rewriting the script. Does he stick to the stereotype of the criminal wolf, or does he choose growth and redemption? That tug of war between instinct and morality is what makes him so fun to watch, because he embodies that question: am I doomed to be the bad guy, or can I be something more? So the question: why are we so obsessed with wolves in animation? Because they're not just animals anymore. Wolves have become one of the most flexible archetypes in storytelling. We've seen them evolve from fairy tale villains into tragic outsiders, divine guardians, stylish anti-heroes, and even scene-stealing villains. Studios like Ghibli gave them depth, modern films gave them charm, and shows like Beastars gave them inner conflict that feels painfully human. At their core, wolves let storytellers explore the big question: belonging versus isolation, instinct versus morality, freedom versus responsibility. They can be heroes, villains, or both at once, and that duality keeps us coming back for more. In the end, maybe our obsession with animated wolves isn't really about wolves at all. Maybe it's about us, our fears, our desires, our struggle to be more than the world expects us to be. It may sound cliche, but that's how I want to end this video. And so this is why, whether they're howling at the moon, saving the day, or chasing down our favorite heroes, wolves will always have a place in animation and also in our imagination. Hi everyone, unfortunately this video couldn't come out on the weekend. I had other projects I was doing, so it got delayed. I want to say I'm super grateful for the love on the Fox video. These videos do take me a while to make and to research, and to see you all actually watching it and also commenting. I can't say how insanely happy that makes me feel. So Zest 2.5 is on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can check the description for the direct links. The pages are new, so we're not getting much traction there. Just head on over and show some support if you can. I'm not saying you should watch the videos, you could just follow. And yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, please comment what you loved, what you disagreed with, what you agreed with, and as you do so, may God bless you. Thanks for watching the video. If you haven't subbed, please do so. If you haven't liked, why not? God loves you and I love you too. Bye.